Hello and welcome to the I Am Her podcast. I am one of the podcast hosts, Abby, and today I'm going to be talking about how to decenter your body. And this is something that has been weighing on my mind heavy these past few weeks. I have talked about body image on here before, and it's something that's very important to me. But I want to talk specifically about decentering your body and how you look, not so much about self love, but just, I mean, of course, self love, but it's more about letting go of the pressure and trying to be perfect and just living your life and not having your body be your top priority or the first thing that you think about in the morning. Because I'll be honest, I have struggled a lot with body image and my relationship with food and my body and all things going around that. But I recently had an experience and a realization of how much better my life has been since decentering my body and focusing so much about what I'm eating, what I'm doing. And I feel so much happier, so much more free. And so that's why I really wanted to talk about this today because I want everyone to feel like this. And when I was so focused on my body and what I looked like, it was like my main priority and my main focus, and I was miserable and tired all the time. And yeah, you shouldn't have to feel like that either. And if you're here, you probably have experienced, feeling insecure or putting so much pressure on your body and the way that you look. And I'm sure you know how exhausting and draining that can be. So, yeah. And decentering your body is a practice. It's not something that you're going to be able to accomplish even like in a month. For me, it's probably something that I'm going to be working on my whole entire life, and that's okay. But just being self aware and actually working on it is the first step. And of course, we're not going to be perfect. And it takes time to retrain your brain. And especially if you've been restricting or thinking this type of way for such a long time, you're used to it. And it's going to be really hard to break away from that train of thought. But when you do, you will feel so much more free. And one of the first things that I can recommend, and it might be hard to hear because I had other people tell me this and I was like, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. Was to stop counting your calories. And that to me is still hard. And I already know the calories now of like every single thing. It doesn't matter. So I'm still sometimes even subconsciously like, okay, I know how many calories I'm eating, but I'm not specifically like restricting myself to a certain number. And I used to have that number even after I was healed and like, oh, I'm balanced now. But in reality, if I even went 100 calories over the number that I wanted to be at, I would spiral and freak out. And that is just not normal. So I say let go of calorie counting because that is where it started for me, was like counting and then being more aware. And let me tell you, I miss the days of when I did not know how many calories were in things. Like I was so free. And I'll never be able to go back to that, but at least I will not be in a place of despair like I was. And it's super hard to stop, especially when you're so used to it and you've been doing it for X amount of time. It's hard to stop. But I'm telling you, once you do, like right now, I'm just trying to focus on eating balanced whole foods and actually letting myself have more quote unquote cheat meals because I missed out on so many events and like going to dinner with my friends, my family, because I was like, oh, I can't go over my limit or I can't do that. Like I would allow myself whatever a month. And now having more balance, I am having so much more fun. Like I do not want to look back at my life and be like, oh, I wasted so much time and I missed out on so many memories because I was so worried about my macros. Like, it should not be controlling your life. And I know that it can be helpful for some people, and for some people, it doesn't. It's actually easier, and that works for them. That's great. For me, it just personally did not work. And so that's my first tip is to maybe just try stopping. And it's a practice, but just try it out and see if it helps. Because for me, once I let go of hitting a certain number, and also that with exercise too, not going every single day if I'm in pain. Like now I allow myself a rest day, and if I'm in pain, I'm going to listen to my body. I'm not going to push it past its limit because it's telling me, it's clearly telling me you need to stop. And me pushing past that limit is actually doing way more damage than I thought. But let go of restrictions. And that is the hardest part, is letting go of those restrictions, because for me, I mean, honestly, it took me a year to let go of my restrictions. And I like lessened it over time, and I kind of took baby steps. So if that helps, do it, because I know it's hard to just like let go all at once and be like, whatever, fuck it. That's not a lot of times very reasonable. And for me, it took me a long time to fully let go. And I still have things that I hold on to and that are hard for me to stop and retrain my brain. But I feel like I personally have made so much progress from like a year ago at this time. So, and I can full heartedly tell you, I feel so much better now than I did before. And decentering my body has helped astronomically. And it helped more than just, people saying, just love yourself, just love how you look, because that didn't work for me, because it was hard for me to love myself if I didn't like what I saw. So I had to retrain my brain into thinking, okay, you know what? You don't have to absolutely love how you look, but it shouldn't control your life. You should still live your life. And so now I kind of think of it more as, it doesn't matter. Like, all that matters is that I am healthy and I am happy. If I'm not happy, then none of it's worth it. If your body is a nightmare to maintain, that is not your dream body. I never want to put myself in a position again where it is damn near impossible and I am losing my personality and my relationships with people, my hobbies, just to keep my dream physique. It is not that important to me anymore. And it's sad that at a point that was my main goal and that was the only thing I thought about. And I never want to live my life like that again. I think it's sad that I honestly wasted like a whole year missing out on so many memories, being so exhausted, so tired. I didn't want to do anything. I all I wanted to do was sleep, because I was overworking my body so much and I was so underfueled. But as soon as I let go of those restrictions, let me tell you, it helped me so much. And again, it takes time. It took me like over a year, and I'm still learning. I'm still doing my best. But that is the main thing. And I know that it's so hard. And it's so hard to hear too, because you want to be like, well, I'm different. But the truth is, it really does affect your whole well being. Um, and especially for me, workouts were the hardest thing for me to let go of. I started eating more, but then I would work out so much to almost overcompensate. And I was like killing myself in the gym. And I thought it was normal. I thought I was just super active and oh, I loved it. But then I started to hate it. I would wake up in the morning, even the night before, I'd be like, fuck, I do not want to go to the gym tomorrow, because my gym routine was insane. It was insane. It was exhausting. And it made it so I had no energy to do anything else the rest of the day. And if I did stuff, I pushed through miserably and I was extremely exhausted from it, because I spent so many hours at the gym overworking my body. And no, no, no. It's just so unhealthy. So let go not only of food restrictions, but of the pressure to work out or get X amount of steps. And I know it's, everyone says get 10,000 steps, and that's great. And I totally agree with walking and working out, because movement is so, so important. I'm not saying to not work out. I am a big um, person who's all about working out. I love it. I think it's so helpful for your mental health, but it gets to a point, because too much of anything is bad. And I definitely got into a headspace where I was working out way too much, and I'm still working on that. But I will tell you, in my experience, from taking a break from the gym and listening to my body and working out like a normal human being, I love the gym again. And it makes me sad that I had to go through a time where I hated the gym because it was so hard on me. But now I love it again, and it feels so fulfilling. I feel way stronger. I feel way happier. And I still get that, dopamine boost from it. The best thing that came out of me decentering my body was getting myself back in a way. I feel like And when I was healing from my eating disorder, even though I was eating a quote unquote healthy amount and, you know, working out a little less and not restricting myself so much anymore, I was still restricting. And I didn't like if people told me I was, because I was like, no, I'm not. But the truth was, I really was, because I was so concerned about, not going over a certain amount of calories or making sure that I burned a certain amount of calories, and it exhausted me. It took everything out of me, even though I was, you know, to as like looking in on the exterior, I looked like I was, a very healthy person, and I just like cared about my health and was taking care of my body, but I was still hurting my body because it was so much. And I was just so tired all the time. I did not have energy for anything, and I would push myself to do these things, and I would be so confused, like, why am I so tired? Like, I'm eating again. I don't understand why I'm so exhausted. It's because I still needed to fuel my body properly and to let go of restrictions, because your body is not a clock. It doesn't know what time of day you're eating. It doesn't know how many, I mean, it knows how many calories, but you know what I mean? Like, you should listen to your body. If you're hungry, eat, whatever. Me being still restrictive had me miserable. And I was still really upset because I also was still gaining weight, even though, you know, I was very healthy. But it was weight that I needed to gain, but it was still hard for me. And so decentering my body is what made me feel confident, because I realized there is so much more to me than my exterior and how I look, because I have a beautiful soul. I have a great personality. I'm very intelligent. I'm funny. I'm smart. Like, there is so much more to me than the way that I look. And, my relationships with the people in my life got so much better. I felt so much happier, so much more free as soon as I started to decenter my body and not put so much pressure on myself, and not, look in the mirror all the time and focusing on just how I look. Like, I started focusing on how I felt. And it's hard. It's so much easier said than done to just be like, just don't care, because it's hard not to care. It really is, because, it can affect your mental health, but not caring is so much fun. I feel so much happier. Like, I just want to shout it from the rooftops, like, how much more free I feel. And I'm enjoying my life actually so much more. And I actually have so much more energy. Like, and I'm a naturally tired person because of my spinal cord injury. I get tired more than the average person. Even still, I feel so much more energized, like, so much more. And my brain also works properly now. I also want to talk about something, and that is talking about your body around other people. And I don't mean this to sound rude at all, because I am someone who did this. I would complain about my body to my mom, to my friends, to anyone who would listen, and be like, I'm just so insecure. Like, I just am fat, blah, 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 blah. Like, shut up, bro. Shut up. And that's annoying to hear. And also, I think, because when other people talk about their bodies, it kind of makes me think, oh, are they thinking about my body in some type of way? When you're constantly talking about that, people hear you and they're like, oh, if she's thinking that about herself, she is thinking some type of way about me, maybe. Or, you know, looking at my body. But in reality, we're not really doing that. Everyone's so self involved and only really focusing on themselves and how they look, but other people are still going to think that you might be thinking some type of way about their body. And also, again, I did this, so I'm not coming from a place of judgment, but someone who is very insecure, I mean, it's okay to be insecure. We are all insecure, but someone who, like, only talks about their insecurities around their body, or only talks about food or their appearance, that can be very exhausting, and it can get very boring to hear about. Again, I did this. I regret it. But it can just, it's draining. It's draining for the other person to constantly have to, console you and to tell you, no, you're pretty, you're pretty. Because at the end of the day, you're not listening to them. You know what I mean? And you kind of lose like a piece of your personality and who you are when that's all you're caring about, when that's all you're thinking about. Like, there is so much more to this world than bodies and the way we look. There is so much more. And I kind of sound like a hypocrite saying that, because I put myself through a lot of pain just to look a certain way. And yeah, that's all I'm going to say about it. But it can be exhausting, and not just to other people, but it's exhausting for your brain and your mind to only think about that, to wake up in the morning and body check and make sure you look okay. That is so draining. There is so much more to life. You are so much more than a body. And I know that's cliche and people say that all the time, but it's just so true. And I actually became so much more confident when I, in a sense, got uglier. I don't think I'm uglier, but I got confident because I was like, you know what? I am still such a valuable person, even if I don't look like a model. I'm still valuable. And it boosted my confidence. It really did, even though I didn't look how I felt I when I was skinnier. And I didn't look better when I was skinnier, actually. I was sick, so that's not beautiful. Being sick is not beautiful. One thing that I did that actually helped me so much was to stop looking in the mirror all the time. To stop body checking and turning to the side and making see if how my stomach looks. Like, no, once I stopped doing that, I it made me not care anymore because I wasn't looking and I didn't even know how I looked. Like, still to this day I don't really look in the mirror that much if I can help it. I still get ready in the dark, like I don't care. I don't want my peace to be ruined and I don't want to feel insecure. So I'm way more fun if I don't know what I look like, actually. And that actually helped me so much. Like, that's my main tip, I would say, is to stop looking in the mirror and also stop like taking pictures. I know social media is super fun, but like maybe not focus on pictures all the time and just enjoy, because but you're focused on, oh, I want to look good in a picture, like you're going to spiral. Even if you look great, we all do it. Even if we look beautiful, a lot of times we spiral. And so stopping looking and just stop looking and enjoy, just be. And that also leads me to social media, and I've talked about it a million times, but social media can make you feel like reality is skewed. Not everyone has a model body. It's just not normal. And when you're online, you are comparing yourself, you are seeing all these people, and a lot of times it's not real. A lot of times it's plastic surgery and Photoshop, filters, angles. Let me tell you, I know angles. Like, I will post pictures and I'm definitely posing in a certain type of way, but I don't actually look like that, low key. Like, that's not actually how I look, but I be posing. Okay, we all do it. Same with like makeup. Like, I look pretty different if I'm wearing makeup versus if I'm not. I'm beautiful both ways, but that's just how it goes. Um so yeah, get off social media if that will help you, or maybe just filter your social media, because that I feel like plays into it so much, especially like people talking about their weight and talking about weight loss and all these things. It can be very triggering. So just getting off of that helps a lot. Um, and try to redirect your brain every time you start thinking about your body, or talking down in yourself. Try to redirect your brain. I try to just think about something else that's important in my life, or I'll start doing a hobby or doing something that I need to get done. And oftentimes after, I feel better, or I'll just go on a walk, because it takes time. It's hard because a lot of times you can't control the thoughts that come into your head. They just pop up. Like, a lot of times they're intrusive. Sometimes I'll just see myself and be like, you're ugly. And then after, I'm like, whoa, hold up. That was uncalled for. And I did not mean that. That just came out. And it's like, I didn't even want to think that, but it happened. Um, so try to redirect, because sometimes those thoughts are going to come up. But if you can stop the thought in its tracks and start thinking about something else, it doesn't even have to be like, no, I love myself. And that's great. For me, that doesn't work to just like say, no, I'm beautiful. Like, that doesn't work for me, to be honest. I just have to think about something else and be like, it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter what my body looks like, actually. Um, Yeah. Another thing that kind of goes along with not looking in the mirror a lot is wearing what feels comfortable and not forcing yourself to wear certain clothes. For me, I would like put on clothes that I used to wear when I was like skinnier, and it would make me freak out because I'd be like, I can't believe this doesn't fit me anymore. No shit, it doesn't fit you anymore. Like, you were literally tiny in a bad way. Like, it's fine. And so what I did was I wore sweats all the time. I still do because I just want to be comfy and I love wearing sweats, and I feel most confident and comfortable in sweats. And that made me decenter my body. One, because it's not so like tight. Like breaking away from crop tops and tight shirts helped me so much because I'm like, who cares? Literally, I'm comfortable. I feel happier because I'm comfortable, and I actually feel more confident in this type of attire. So wear what makes you feel confident, even if it's sweats. Like I spent probably 6 months just wearing sweats everywhere I went, and I don't regret it. And I'm going to continue to do that because I've always been like that, to be honest. I just love wearing sweats. I really prioritize my comfort and over how I look. So, yeah. But that helps to not, then you're not so worried about what you look like. Even in pictures too, you can just like live more freely. Um but a way to redirect your brain is to focus on your hobbies, focus on your relationships, hanging out with people. For me, it helped a lot to hang out with people and go to lunch, go to dinner, because I was spending time with others and I was connecting and not focused so much on what I was eating, because I'm like, you know what, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to enjoy the beautiful people around me and not worry about what's going into my mouth, because who cares? I'm here for fun, I'm here for connection. And focusing on projects, on your career, on a new hobby. For me, I something that I'm going to do to help take off the pressure of how I look is learn a new language. I've been wanting to learn Spanish for so long, and I'm going to start learning Spanish or sign language or both. I can't decide. But yeah, focus on something like that. And it really takes your mind off of, you know, your insecurities. It helps. And it takes practice, and sometimes it's not going to fully go away. And honestly, for me, I don't think it'll ever fully go away. I'm always going to have these thoughts, but it's how I cope with them and how I can redirect them, because it's not going to be like a snap of a finger. Who cares? I don't care anymore. That's just not how our brains work. It's a practice. But once you start and take that first step, I promise you, you will feel a difference. Like I can tell you for a fact, because I didn't think I would be happier if I was bigger. I was like, there's no way. Like I'd be miserable. But I am so much happier. I My relationships, my friendships are so much stronger. My relationship with myself and my self-love is so much stronger ever since letting go of these crazy restrictions that I had, even though I was healed, quote unquote. Um but yeah, I wanted to talk about this because I know I've talked about loving yourself, but sometimes it's hard. And sometimes the easier thing to do, at least for me, was to just let go of it and kind of, achieve body neutrality and not, finding out who I am beneath the exterior has made a big difference for me. And I can't say it enough. I'm so much happier ever since I let go of the importance of how I look. And of course, I still care. Of course, I still like to dress up and look cute and feel cute, but it's not my main goal anymore. It's not the driving force in my life. I never want to look back on my life and, you know, think, oh, I wasted so much time worrying about how I looked that I missed out on so many memories. And I already feel that way from the past year. I missed out on a lot because I was so worried about how I looked. And I'm tired of wasting time. And I don't want you to waste your time either, because there is so much more to life. Life is so beautiful. We only get one life. Let's not waste it on that. And especially women, we have so much pressure put on us to look perfect, and it's exhausting, and I'm tired of it. And men do not have that same pressure. They just don't. And I'm sick of it. And I think that we should be able to live freely and do what we want as well. And our value does not equal the way we look. They are way different things. But anyway, you are beautiful and you should love yourself. And I want you to feel free. I don't want you to feel restricted, because if you were anything like me and it was kind of taking over your life the way you looked and taking a toll on your mental health, I think that's a sign that there is something in your life that you need to change. And decentering your body is what helped me. And so that's why I wanted to share this to other people, to help take off that pressure, take off the focus on just how you look, because again, there is so much more to life and there is so much more to you. And whether you think you're beautiful or not, you are. And I appreciate you guys so much for listening. Thank you for tuning in, and we will see you next week.